Welcome back. In this section, we're going to build out our new organisational structure that is required to unlock change. Again, we're going to use all the ideas, the concepts, the strategies in our business and academic books. Importantly, we're also going to focus on the organisational structure and hierarchy. Who do the frontline teams report up into? What we're going to do is take some of the strategies from here and map them into our integral map for organisations. And our new structure needs to deliver for all four quadrants. In the lower left quadrant of culture, we find Frederick Laloux's work in reinventing organisations. He has some great case studies on the cultures that we want to achieve. Self-managing, higher purpose, anti-fragile, distributed decision making. In the upper left quadrant, we have Elliott Jacques' work, Stratum Theory. What he importantly tells us is that, yes, we need the right people in the right role, but they need to have the right vertical development level corresponding to the layer in which they're operating in. Over in the upper right, we have Stafford Beer's viable systems model and the 5 systems we need to operate inside our organisation. We need especially a recursive structure, teams within teams within teams. In the lower right, we find Team Topologies by Matthew Skelton and Manuel Pei. Now, they have come up with 4 building blocks that we're going to use in building out our organisation. They are platforms, platform teams, stream-aligned teams, enabling teams, and complicated subsystem teams. Now, apologies to Matthew and Manuel, that's a bit of a mouthful. So we're going to simplify those names down to platform, stream team, enabling team, and specialist team. Let's get started. We can go back to our founder who is working with her team of like-minded people towards their mission. AI governance to safely accelerate the benefits. We can actually map the 8 people of the team already into our building blocks. At this stage, we only have one platform. Inside that, we have the one stream team with the people capable of delivering to their mission. They're being supported by 3 specialist teams: marketing, people, and finance. We're going to grow these 8 people in our next stage out to 31 people. To help us do that, we have a set of operating principles. The first 2 are to do with the platform. It's actually the platforms that build out our organisational structure, and we'll show you this as we go through the presentation. The other thing about platforms is they should be as self-contained as possible, as practical. Sometimes that's not reality, but the ideal way is to make them as self-contained as practical. In our case, we're going to end up with 3 platforms. The first one is our customer platform, then we'll have an offering platform, and we'll also have a governance platform. Let's move the people into their relevant platforms. Cool. The next principle is about stream teams. Stream teams need to be autonomously capable to deliver to their mission or nested mission. As we grow here, we can just add a second stream team. And each of these teams are autonomously capable. Now, the first team is probably focused on, say, North American customers. And the second team is focused on European customers. The question comes up here is, so who's doing the coaching, the skills development, the training, etc., etc.? Well, we add an enabling team. The enabling team is facilitating that training, that skills development, the coaching, and importantly, they're focusing on coming up with customer solutions built out of the products, not just letting the team sell products with the customers having some assembly required. To further help our teams, we've added 2 specialist teams. The first one is customer marketing. They're doing marketing that is aligned to that specific market, to that specific mission, whether that be some overarching presentations, whether it be a direct mail campaign, social media, or events. The other specialist team is local finance, and they're performing all of the finance roles within this platform, from invoicing, accounts payable, accounts receivable, into management reporting, and they even could be creating a P&L for the platform. Now, the single biggest change that we are making is that everyone inside this platform reports to the platform manager. They don't report up into some functional silo senior vice president. Customer marketing doesn't report to marketing. Solution consultants don't report to professional services, etc., etc. This is the change that will meet with the most resistance from traditional thinking. Let me just pause and how do you feel about this? Does this make sense to you? Or are you sitting there saying, yeah, but how does this work? Well, to explain how it works, let's build out the governance platform. In the governance platform, we have 3 specialist teams: our corporate marketing, our people, and our finance. Now, we've called it governance for a reason, because at this level, what they are doing is creating the framework, the principles of governance for the entire organization. That's everything from brand and organizational messaging through to what are our financial targets that we need to meet at a high level. At our customer platform, we have pushed down nearly all the other decision making. So the local platform, they can operate autonomously, but they must operate within the corporate governance. A great example of this is in the HBR article, Who Needs Budgets? By Jeremy Hope and Robin Fraser. In this, one of their case studies is the successful Swedish bank, Svenska Handelsbanken. Now, Svenska's Handelsbanken have actually pushed all this decision making down to their 600 branches, and each branch is self-contained. However, up at the governance platform, finance have said you must deliver on 40% profit margin. They, however, have all the pricing decision making within the branch. So they can decide what prices they want to charge, but at the end of the day, overall, they must deliver back the 40% profit margin. This is like Frederick Laloux's distributed decision making. Yes, we've got to operate to the governance platform, but at that we get to make the right decisions for us going forward. We can finish building out our team here by building out the offering platform. Here we have 2 streams, product as well as the development and operations, and they're working collaboratively together, and the whole platform is actually collaborating with the customer platform. That is, they can share information. What are customer requirements? What are the new trends coming through? As well as sharing back the other way, what's our solution roadmap? From a customer experience point of view, if we find bugs and stuff in the product, we can feed that back to development so they can fix those as quick as they can. So we now have built out our 31 members in this team. The last 2 principles are all the roles are broader than when we slice and dice in our functional silos. So what you'll see is, and I've already used some of these terms, we have an engagement consultant, we have solution consultants, we have customer experience. What the engagement consultant does is they go and discover the customer requirements, and then they work with the rest of the team to come up with the right solution. They don't just hand it off. They then form the project governance along with the customer exec sponsor to make sure it's implemented to what the solution required for the customer. They then can work with customer experience to do ongoing customer management. And in this approach, we never lose any of the customer knowledge through the whole cycle. The last one is that we reward teams, not individuals. The purpose of this is that, well, if we're all operating together to deliver to our nested mission, how do you come up with a bonus structure for the engagement consultants? How do you come up with bonuses for some of the solution consultants but not some of the others? What we do is actually reward the entire team, and we want those rewards as much as possible to be aligned to delivering on our nested mission. Not how many sales calls did I make today, how many tickets did I close, etc., etc. It's how did we go in progressing against our nested mission statement. The final platform we add is the CEO founder platform. And what you can see here is we're starting to build that recursive structure. Okay. Going forward, we're going to focus on the customer platform and grow this out even more. If you want to know how to grow out the offering platform, well, can I refer you to Team Topologies? Well, Matthew Skelton and Manuel Pay is excellent work. It's very detailed, well referenced, and it shows you how to build out those teams along the lines that we've been presenting here. So let's focus now in on our customer platform. Now, as we grow this out, instead of adding another stream team within the one platform, we can actually add a second layer one platform team. So in here we've done that, and you can see one of the platforms has 3 streams, the other has 2, so it just depends on what works for each of the teams. The first team is focusing on enterprise customers in the USA. So we're building out different segments as we do this. And that their nested mission is enhancing enterprise with safe AI. The second team's focusing on healthcare, improving healthcare with safe AI. To demonstrate the flexibility of our organising principles here, we've moved local finance up one level of the layers. That's to show that it doesn't have to be at the bottom, at the layer one platform level. It can be a high, whatever makes practical sense given reality. The other thing we've done here in each of the platforms is we've added another specialist team, customer admin. Now, when we build out when we grow, we often will create more and more admin work. This happens especially in functional silos where salespeople spend all their time filling in Salesforce or whatever other CRM tool they've got because the rest of the organization wants to know what's going on. Now, in our structure, we actually have a lot closer communication. So a lot of that admin work goes out the door, but it's still extraneous cognitive load on our stream teams. So we're moving that to our customer admin team, and we're following Peter Drucker's idea of make your back office someone else's front office. So now it's going from extraneous cognitive load to intrinsic cognitive load of our customer admin teams. All right, when you look at how this works, you can actually see that within a platform, it's a closed, contained system. There are constant feedback loops in here. The engagement consultant can't just sell the customer anything because they're sitting right next to the solution consultants who are going to implement it and the customer experience people who are going to actually have to drive success into the organization. There is complete transparency. There's no other silos to point fingers at to blame. And also, because we've pushed the decision making down, we now have empowerment. But because of transparency, feedback loops, closed system, we have accountability. There's nowhere to point fingers, so guess what? You can only point them at yourself. Empowerment plus accountability means we have ownership. The team here has ownership on delivering to their nested mission. And by the way, our objectives and key results flow nicely within this structure. If we are there to improve healthcare with safe AI, we can actually measure that into the marketplace and gain some key results against our objective. Finally, we've removed prisoner's dilemma, because everyone is sitting next to each other to make the decision. We don't have to go over to other departments. If we can't agree amongst ourselves, we only have one level of management that we need to go to, who can then make the final decision. We don't have to go all the way up to the CEO. What we now can do is we've created the pattern. We can now further expand our team and grow our organisation. And you can see how this can happen as we grow it out. So now we might have our enterprise customers, we might have government customers, we might have small to medium enterprise, we might have healthcare, financial services, and we might have manufacturing. You can see just how those mission statements cascade down so they can be targeted. One of the challenges companies have all the time is, how do I focus on small to medium enterprise? Well, at that level, they're going to need a very strong partnering model into their markets. And so how they operate and how they work with partners will be very different to how you'll do it at the enterprise space. So we have the empowerment and the accountability to go and create the right go-to-market method for our market. The other thing you might notice with this is who our managers are. So we have managers who are at higher vertical development levels. And this happens naturally, because when you have the teams operating, people with natural leadership skills will come to the fore. They are thinking broader, they're collaborating more, and they're the ones who'll get promoted up into the different management layers. It's the expert won't get that far. The expert can have fun being an expert in their area, but we won't make them a platform manager or a second layer platform manager, because they just couldn't cope in that situation. All right. Finally, you might be thinking that this is the old centralized versus decentralized debate. The problem is, when we go from centralized to decentralized organizational structure, all we really create are multiple groups of functional silos. This doesn't solve any problems. In fact, it creates a whole lot more. And one of the biggest problems it creates is duplication. After a while, a new management team comes in and says, this is rubbish, and they swing us back to centralization. So we go from central to distributed to back again. In our organisation, it is a fundamentally different structure, and one that you need to get your head around. The next two questions we get is, well, is this really more productive, and can it scale? And by the way, when people say can it scale, they don't actually know what they mean. It's just, can it scale? Well, Nicole Forsgren, Jez Humble, and Jean Kim, in their work Accelerate, actually looked at this. And it's very detailed work, and it's really good piece of work where they have looked at the IT DevOps departments across 10,000 organizations from small to large. And they did this over 4 years. What they found was that teams that are autonomously capable to deliver what they need to deliver were high-performing teams. If you didn't have that structure that we've been talking about, you were medium at best, if not low performance. The 4 metrics that they measured them on were outcomes, not output. They were progress, not activity. Not how many sales calls, how many tickets did I close. It was on outcomes. They were also more global and not local or individualized. What they found is that the high-performing teams, those autonomously capable teams, outperform the medium teams and the low-performing teams across all of the 4 metrics. They were more productive. Importantly, they were more scalable. So with our high performance teams, there is a threshold, but at that point, for every extra resource you're adding, you're getting 2.5 times the outcomes, compared to the medium performance and the low performance teams that never get above 1-to-1. So for every resource they're adding, they're only getting 70%, 80% of outcomes. So what we can now do is put our new organisational structure into our integral map for organisations. And what we can see is that this structure is creating the dynamics we need in the other 3 quadrants. The last question you might have is, how do I go from our traditional structure, our functional silos, to our new organisational structure that is required to unlock change? Well, welcome to Chapter 3, How to Change Direction. I hope that has been worthwhile. I hope that it made sense to you. And if you've got any questions, comments, if you want a copy of the slides even, please fill in the form on our website and we're happy to respond or to share. Thank you for joining us, but please remember, as someone once said, if we don't change direction, we will end up where we're heading.